Hey everyone, this is SPC Plainfield. Today, or if you're watching this after today, it was September 1st, which is an important day in the world of weather. Today was the anniversary of Hurricane Ida's wrath on New York and Philadelphia. Because on that day, there were so many flash flood emergencies because of how much rainfall Ida produced. Throughout the day today, my TV station's been broadcasting Ida's compilation. I mean, the word has really been spread out about this whole community here. And on Savage's post, that he got this flash flood emergency for Cambria, Pennsylvania, for a dam failure. This is for a failure of Wilmore Dam. By the way, credits go to Savage, by the way, for the video. So that was his rarest catch ever. He has never caught a flash flood emergency. And I mean, let me tell you, flash flood emergencies are very rare. And I mean, already so far this year, we've had several of them. We've had several in Kentucky and just recently several in Mississippi. And I mean, I can put those two events in comparison to this. Because throughout this entire event, let's see, because let me tell you, Ida started by making landfall, and then it continued right through North Carolina, right through both of the Carolinas. It went through both of the Carolinas, through Virginia, and eventually reaching West Virginia, Maryland, the Baltimore and Washington areas, and then eventually reaching Pennsylvania and New York, where we saw the worst of it. Because there was an EF2 tornado that was it was from a tornado emergency for Burlington, Bristol, which damaged a residential neighborhood. And somebody actually managed to capture the tornado in front of them on video. And that definitely was a pretty shocking sight. But you know what else was shocking was that flash flood emergency literally came right after the tornado emergency, which is an ultra rare combination. That is the first time that I've ever seen a tornado and flash flood emergency doubleheader on a weather radio station, and I do not know if we are ever going to get that combination again. And then in New York, they got the worst of it. And there's like 12 inches of rainfall. Literally, basements were being flooded.
And the subway too.
Yeah, the entire New York subway system was being flooded because of how much rainfall Ida was dumping. But that's not all. This combines with the other intense amounts of rainfall that the other hurricane that came through a few weeks prior. So Ida's intense rainfall was no match for New York's infrastructure. So I'm sure that it was really put up to the test. But then the other thing, and then I can easily make a connection from this to the two recent flash flooding events that we've had. We've had one in Kentucky last month, and just recently we had one in Mississippi, which of course I did not see. I didn't get anything out of it. But, I mean, I heard, but either way, from the Ida flooding and the Kentucky flooding, I mean, there was so much damage done. I don't know how much it would how much it costed, but I estimate it would be like in the millions. I would say in the millions, possibly billions. Yeah, I would say most likely millions. I don't know about billions though, but I mean, Kentucky was pretty bad. But then Mississippi, I think, turned out to be even worse because Jackson's water treatment was put up to the challenge and eventually it couldn't handle. So as of now, Mississippi's residents are without water. They are without clean water. And this is just a week after. A week later after the disaster. And still no clean water for those residents. And this was all due to the incredible flooding of the Pearl River. The Pearl River's flooding was partially responsible. So I can hardly imagine what those people in Jackson are going through because of how destructive all that flooding was. I mean, when I make a connect, like I can make a connection easily to all three of those flooding events. All three caused millions of dollars in damages, with I think New York and Jackson being the worst.
And the St. Louis emergency too. We can't forget about that.
Yeah, because I forgot to mention about the St. Louis flash flood emergency. I would say it wasn't as worse as. I would say it was the least worst out of this. As far as I know, I didn't hear like any stories about anything that happened in Jackson happened in St. Louis, but still, I gotta say, those people were really going through a hard time after that. But yeah, in other news, yeah, as of the time I'm filming this, WTOP still has not went. They still have not ran their weekly yet. And yes, on my TV network, my compilation, the compilation I made of Ida is almost done airing.
Recording the emergency from your channel.
Yeah, because I'm literally airing the entire thing from start to finish. No, not all of it, but basically Wednesday's portions of the event, because it was considerably the worst.
Yep.
So, yeah, Ida is definitely a hurricane that was, I would say, a depression. I think that was the worst that we've seen out of every single tropical depression that I have seen.
Hear it. It's doing it now. The New York City one.
Yeah, it's on one of the flash flood emergencies.
Yep.
That was issued that day. And I believe this was on I think this is on Thursday now, maybe Friday. Oh, man. And by the way, if you all would like to check out that massive thing for yourself, I am going to put a link to the compilation in the description so you can see how incredibly long this was. In fact, several of my other compilations that came right after that have already shattered Ida's record, with the latest one now being over 9.5 hours. That's a record that I don't think that's ever going to be broken. So yeah. I would say never forget Ida. It was the costliest tropical depression disaster that I've ever witnessed. And on that note, this has been SBC Plainfield. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.